Okay, guys, good morning. Hope you had a nice weekend. So today, if you look up here, we're going to work on area and perimeter formulas. We've done circles and triangles. So now we're going to work on just some quadrilaterals. And I think if you go back, I think it was last week or the week before, we identified the different types of quadrilaterals. So the first one we're going to start is the rectangle. Most of you guys are probably familiar with the rectangle. So for the rectangle, we're going to use W is going to be width and L is going to be length. So the area formula for this is going to be length times width. Okay, so if the width in here was like 6 and the length would be 8, the area would be just 6 times 8, and it'd be 48. Okay. And the perimeter would be 2 times the length, width plus the length. So in this case, width plus length, that would be 14, and 2 times that would be 28. So in this case, if we plug everything in here, it'd be 2 times 6 plus 8, and that's 14, so that would be 28. So both your formulas, so the area is going to be length times width, and for the perimeter, excuse me, forgot the R, is going to be 2 times width times length. Okay, so really all it is just plugging in the numbers you see there. Okay, so the next one, we're going to have parallelogram. Okay, parallelogram. And one thing when you do a parallelogram, just like the triangle, you're going to probably see a line down here like that that's going to represent the height of the parallelogram. It's not part of it, but we just put that in to give you reference on what the height is going to be. Because for the area, it would be base times the height. So in this case, let's say the base right here is B, and that would be, let's say the base is 6, and over here the height we'll say is 10. So to get the area, it would just be the base times height. So in this case, it's just 6 times 10 equals 60. And the perimeter would be 2 times A plus B. And A would be over here. So say A is 4. Then it's just going to be the 6 plus 4 times 2. So on this parallelogram, you're going to have A side, B side, and the height. And remember, these two, this side and that side would be equal, and that side and that side would be equal. So area for a parallelogram is base times height, and the perimeter is 2 times A plus B. Okay. Now I want to go on to rhombus. And rhombus is basically, it's a parallelogram where all sides are equal. So it'd be something like that with a little slant to it. And once again, you're going to see basically something like that that's going to be the height of it. So you'd have side A, side B, and the area is going to be A times H, and the perimeter is just going to be 4 sides. So it'd just be 4 times A. Okay. So in this case, let's say A is, we'll say 6, and the height is going to be 8. So for the area, it would just be the 6 times the 8 would be 48. And then for the perimeter, it's just all 4 sides are equal. So it's going to be 6 times 4. Since there's 4 sides, that would be 24. Okay, I know my the drawings leave a little bit to be desired, so I apologize. But when I once I go ahead and post some work, you'll be able to kind of see what each shape really looks like. So let's just go back and kind of review these here. So for a rectangle, it's just the length of the rectangle times the width is going to give you the area. And the perimeter is just going to be 2 times the width plus the length. So area is length times width. Perimeter is 2 times the width plus length. Remember, perimeter, if we're looking at perimeter, perimeter is just what goes all the way around the triangle. Like if you're doing a fence in your yard, you want to know the perimeter, that's how you'd use that. So if this was like, if your house was right in here in the middle and you want to know how big of a fence you would need to go around your property line, you would use your perimeter, and you would need whatever it is, 28, whatever yards, miles, whatever the context was. That's just going all the way on the outside. And the area basically would measure everything inside that, basically that parallelogram. And the area is the length times the width. Okay. And then for the parallelogram, area, once again, you want to find everything that's going around the outside of the parallelogram. And the area is just going to be the base times the height. So in this case, the base is 6 and the height is 10, so it's going to be 60. And the perimeter would just be adding all 4 sides up. So that would be, you would add A plus B and times it times 2. Okay. And the rhombus, the area is just a side times the height. In this case, the side is 6 and the height is 8, so it's going to be 48. And the perimeter is just basically 4 times a side, and all the sides in a rhombus are equal. Okay. Last one we're going to do here is a trapezoid. Trapezoid is going to look something like and then you'll have the height. So if this is side, we'll say side B1, this would be side A2, this would be side B2, and this would be side A1. And then you'd have the height. So you're going to have 4 different sides, and you're going to have a height in a trapezoid. Okay. So area for a trapezoid is going to be A1. Oops, let me redo that. Oops, excuse me. it would be A1 plus A2 over 2 times the height. Okay, so let's say A1 is 12 and A2 is, we'll say 7. So A1 plus A2, that's going to be 12 plus 7 over 2. So that's going to be 19 divided by 2, which is 9.5. And let's say in this case, the height is, we'll say 8. Then you would just multiply that 9 times 5 times 8. And that's 72 plus 4 is 76. 9.5 times 8 is 76. And that's the area formula right there. So it's side A1 plus side A2 divided by 2 times the height. And for the perimeter, once again, you're just basically adding all 4 sides together. So that would just be A1 plus A2 plus B1 plus B2. Because remember what we're doing in the perimeter, we're trying to find the area around the outside. So in this case, I'll just do it in yellow. It would be, oops. We're just trying to find the area on the outside, and all we're going to do is add all 4 sides together. So side A1, side A2, side B1, side B2. And if you just go back up here, the area is, that's a little bit tricky, but if you just remember, it's side A1 plus side A2 divided by 2. And then once you get that, you just multiply it times the height, which is 8. A lot of times it's going to be feet, inches, yards. I just left it blank, but it doesn't really make a difference whether it's feet or inches. Everything's the same. So let's just go over these one more time. Okay. So the parallelogram, oh, excuse me. The first one we did was the rectangle. Okay, so this would be a rectangle. And the rectangle for the area, it's length times width. Okay. Another thing you can do if you think about it, you can just add all 4 sides together, but we're actually doing the exact same thing because 2 of the sides are the same. So this side over here would be 6, and this side up here would be 8. So rectangle, 2 of the sides are the exact same. So it's length times width would be the area, and perimeter is just 2 times side W and side L. Okay. All right. So the parallelogram. Area is base times height, and you're going to see the height is always going to have that little line outside of it. In this case, the height was 10, and the base was 6, so it's just a 6 times a 10. And for the perimeter, you would just add A plus B. In this case, it's 4 and 6 times it times 2. So in that case, it's going to be 20. So perimeter is 2 times A plus B, and the area is just the base times the height for a parallelogram. Rhombus is going to be side A, and let me change something here. I made a boo-boo. So rhombus, all 4 sides are the same. So it's just going to be one of the sides times the height. It's going to give you the area. In the perimeters, it's just adding all the sides together. So a rhombus, all 4 sides are the same. Okay. So the area is just one of the sides times the height. And then for the perimeter, you're just going to multiply one of the sides times 4. So it's just 4 times side A. And they're basically in this, they're all side A. Okay. And the last one, the trapezoid, if you can remember, the perimeter, we're going to add B1, B2, A1, A2. We're just adding all 4 of the sides together. And the area would be A1 plus A2, divide that by 2, and then you multiply it times the height, which is always going to be this little line in the middle with that little kind of like square around it. That's just showing you how high this trapezoid is. Okay, so you guys, I'll go ahead and post some of these for practice. The one thing you might want to do is try to write these formulas down before you start so you have the formulas handy. So just remember, for a rectangle, these are the formulas. Length times width. For area and perimeter is 2 times length times width. Parallelogram, you want to write the area as base times height, and the perimeter is 2 times A plus B. For a rhombus, the area is a side A times the height, and the perimeter is 4A. And then for the trapezoid, area is A1 plus A2 divided by 2 times the height of the trapezoid. And the perimeter is just adding all 4 sides together. So if you write those down and then go ahead and work on the practice, it's probably going to save you a little bit of time. That way you won't have to keep referring back to this video. All right, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.